so-called generative AI stole my content. Fucking livid. That's how I felt when I learned last week that my content was being stolen for use in AI training. Fucking This is why I have a zero tolerance policy when it comes to what's being called AI these days. I don't want to hear the people who say, well, it has some good uses. Oh, it could be good for this or that. That's not what it's being used for, is it? It's being used for theft. Also, for anyone who thinks they're going to be clever and respond to this video with, but you said it's okay to pirate games. What a fucking hypocrite you are. No, fuck off. If anything, the fact that corporations are using generative AI, which is by its very nature plagiarism, only galvanizes my point. The point I've made for years, which is that you can't steal from a giant corporation. It's called reclamation. And in this case, well, it's more true than fucking ever, isn't it? I've been moving more and more into full-time writing work because Lord knows this ain't sustainable anymore, and let me tell you, it is both disheartening and scary as absolute fuck to see how much the pathetic snake oil that is AI has been taking over the market. Job listing after job listing wants writers not to actually write, but to act as living training tools for dumbass algorithms. The listings are always so patronizingly worded too. Writers, don't be afraid of AI taking your job. You have a chance to shape the future of AI. Like, fuck off. We're not shaping the future. We're being expected to throw our futures away by training our replacements. Our, might I add, inadequate replacements. For as we've seen from the almost immediate degradation of any system actually implementing so-called AI, these intended replacements aren't just subpar, they're fucking shit. AI, like NFTs before it, is a big foreskinning pile of useless nothing that tech bros and their marks are desperately trying to find an actual use for. This week, I picked up a can of energy drink called Hell, because it was called Hell, only to find out how accurate such a label was. Powered by AI. The drink proudly boasts. Powered... Like, what the fuck does that even mean? No, don't bother explaining it to me. I don't actually give a fuck. Besides which, it's pretty obvious what it means. The moronic shitheads pushing this nonsense just asked an algorithm to tell them what to make it taste like. Because that's all this so-called AI is. It's not artificial intelligence, the very name is a goddamn lie. It's nothing but scraped, stolen, reconstituted data that spits out instructions for humans to follow without any regard as to whether or not that information is actually reliable. It's not, by the way, reliable. It's not reliable at all. Just ask the teachers and parents currently having to argue with children who are being told blatantly wrong things by ChatGPT and believing them. God fucking help us all. Algorithms are just repurposed information robbed of context. It's something I've been complaining about with YouTube's worthless automated decision-making for over 10 years, just to give you an idea of exactly how new all this so-called AI isn't. An algorithm, far from resembling anything approaching intelligent. It doesn't know what is true and what is false, what is an instruction and what is an opinion. It doesn't know fucking anything. It just approximates information based on the churning swill of stolen words that makes up a database. I mean, this is literally why actual human writers are being exploited to train it. They're not training shit, they're babysitting. They're providing the human oversight that artificial intelligence needs because artificial intelligence has no intelligence, artificial or otherwise. AI needs human editors to be anywhere near accurate. In essence, the writers hired to shape AI's future are actually expected to do the work they've always done, but without a writer's credit. Fuck AI. It's a scam. It's theft. It's another in a line of disgusting moves by the executive class and the tech industry to cut creators out of the creation process because then they don't have to pay for work that an algorithm allegedly did. And as we've been learning, it doesn't actually matter if you, as a creator, take a job as an AI trainer. Whether you have that job or not, whether you consent or not, anything you make now will be taken and used to train the very thing being used to try and make you obsolete. You can imagine the fucking indignity I felt when I learned that these very videos, the ones you're watching now, are having their subtitles scraped and used, wholly without my permission, all to train AI for use by a bunch of corporate pillagers. I felt how I did back in 2022, when my likeness was stolen without my consent for use as an NFT. Violated. Fucking violated. Oh, and I feel stolen from. Because this is theft. Proofnews.org released a tool that can tell you which YouTube channels have been secretly exploited for use in AI training. To date, they've revealed that over 173,536 videos from over 48,000 channels have had their content plagiarized for use in generative AI training by the cunny holes of Silicon Valley. Companies named as using this plagiarized content include Apple, Nvidia, Salesforce, and Anthropic. And make no mistake, this is plagiarism. If you're copying the work of others without permission or citation, no matter how much you try to jumble it all up, you're committing plagiarism. In fact, AI is a little more than plagiarism laundering, literally taking all that stolen content and running it through a process that hides the fact it's stolen. That 5 of my videos were plagiarism laundered makes me sick to my tits as someone who has loudly and often spoken out about the thieving nature of AI. Yet, grotesque as that is, I actually got off lightly compared to some. Abigail Thorne, for instance, literally always one to outdo me, has had 70 of her videos stolen and laundered. All of this pilfered data is being added to what's been called the pile, a name of such derogatory tone that it only adds insult to injury. The pile is a mass of stolen data compiled from all over the place, YouTube subtitles being just one spoil in the overall take. What's happening right now is, in essence, an intellectual property heist being undertaken by companies who, for decades, have acted all high and mighty about intellectual property theft. I'd be surprised, but we've seen how companies who police the internet for copyright infringement have no problem stealing content from the internet if they think they can get away with it. AI is just one more example of the whole rules for thee but not for me attitude that these pieces of shit have. It's corporate entitlement, pure and simple. Heaven help you if you use a 30-second clip from Lego Batman, but hey, let me trademark your chungus. It's worth pointing out that I pay to have my videos professionally subtitled. So not only am I having my intellectual property stolen, Laura Kate Dale deserves to be compensated for her work by all the companies dipping into the pile. I should also say that I pay for those subtitles explicitly because I want my videos accessible as possible to those with disabilities. Generative AI is literally exploiting disability access, a line I intend to repeat in faiths both good and bad to make my argument as manipulatively poignant as possible. Generative AI is literally exploiting disability access, in case you hadn't heard. In a way, I should thank the human filth behind the AI pile for this violation of consent because, just like when NFTs performed a similar violation, it only really proves my point. Tech bros are incapable of doing anything honestly. Their little fads and grifts seemingly have to perpetuate themselves in the shadiest, most unscrupulous, least upfront way possible. Maybe normal people would be less inclined to reject all this shit if it was done with a shred of decency or respect, but it quite genuinely never is. There's always a scam. There's always an angle. There's always, without fucking fail, theft. I mean, have you ever stopped to wonder why these Silicon Valley wankers love crypto so much? Decentralized, unregulated, under-the-counter transactions? It's because they're fucking criminals. But yeah, in violating my consent again, tech chuds have only continued to demonstrate that violation is their stock and trade. They have shown exactly what generative AI is: an infringement, an imposition, millions of hours of hard work stolen, repurposed, and profited from by bone-idle, predatory hack cunts. As Proof News reports, companies are deliberately secretive in how they train their AI. You'd think if they had nothing to hide, they wouldn't hide so much, and yet so much is hidden. Fact is, on some level, they know what they're doing is wrong. No matter how many companies refuse to admit any wrongdoing, like Salesforce and Anthropic have refused to do, the fact remains that they're reluctant to admit where all the data they're using comes from. That reluctance is because they know it's all stolen. It's media taken without permission. It is, after years of crusading against copyright infringement, theft of a most hypocritical nature. OpenAI has routinely dodged the question of if it plagiarized launders YouTube videos in this way. Once again, if it wasn't doing anything wrong, you'd think they could just offer a straightforward answer. Unfortunately, the one thing OpenAI and myself have in common is that we just don't know how to be straight. A spokesperson, when asked, literally said, "I'm actually not sure about that." Hell, maybe by this point OpenAI is full of so much stolen content that they truly don't know where it's all come from anymore. Of course, AI's wholesale robbery isn't entirely new, and since Google has its squalid little penis shoved right up the algorithm, literally every YouTube video is up for grabs. Google's already admitted to this predation of content, hiding behind its unbalanced and patently unfair YouTube creator agreements as justifiable permission. And again, looking at how much downright dangerous misinformation is being spread by Google's AI-driven search results, we've seen how well it's going. I mean, I say this as someone who makes YouTube videos. They're using YouTube videos to tell AI how to tell humans things. Of all the content sources to train your stupid fucking algorithms with, you're going with a platform that lets Scott Adams publish stuff.
The best advice I would give to white people is to get the hell away from black people.
Come on! I don't know why my voice is doing this. Come on! Hey, man! Generative AI is learning complete and utter bollocks. It's hardly surprising that it spouts such bollocks in return. It needs to be repeated what the end goal of all this is, as it showcases exactly how disturbing the recent revelations are. Silicon Valley wants to cut the artist out of the art, the writer out of the writing, the creator out of creation. You think Google would pay a single YouTuber if it could get away with not doing so? I mean, it practically doesn't pay them when you look at what it makes versus the average content creator, so I'm saying Google's rich and profits are theft. You'll see tech baiters crow about it all over social media, how eager they are to see AI take over so they don't have to pay commissions for stuff. I've just remembered what I called those gleeful little brats on social media who celebrate the idea that one day artists will be out of a job. Artistic incels, a much more honest use for the abbreviation AI, a bunch of envious and insecure baby men who can't draw worth a shit and make themselves feel better about their lack of talent by trying to drag art down to the sewer level where they dwell. No, dwell. Dwell isn't insulting enough. Languish? Rot? Goon? I don't know. Artistic incels are not to be confused with actual incels, though there's a compelling Venn diagram. Quite specifically, there are lots of women-hating self-made virgins who have openly gloated that it's all over for the female human because AI can produce for them the underage waifus with fucked-up fingers that they love so much. Be it for vengeful hacks who can't draw, odious creeps who haven't realised it's their creepy odiousness denying them pussy, or wealthy scumbags who already have deific amounts of money yet still lust for more, all roads paved with AI lead to one destination. The end game for AI is to replace as many human beings as possible in the name of eliminating compensation. There was a word for this in the 80s as well. Automation. I must reiterate, whether we agree to it or not, we are being used to train our intended replacements. Companies don't want me to be a writer, they want me to be the author of my own demise. I don't need AI to make me the author of that, that's what my various addictive behaviours are for. We writers have our self-destruction on lock, darling. In plagiarising the existing work of creators, which is all AI training is, companies hope to keep profiting off of people's work while not paying any people. That's their ultimate wet dream. Money for nothing. Money for nothing is exactly what they get when they sell anything made using generative AI. It is the exact same scam NFTs were, double dipping on the labour other people have done in a way that cuts those people out of the deal. For decades, executives and investors have reaped vast sums of money by doing absolutely fuck all but sit back and leech off others. AI is simply the logical conclusion of their parasitic lifestyle. In replacing creators with the laundered plagiarism of their creations, these vile worm creatures have truly reached a state of such profitable uselessness that it should honestly be a cartoonish satire. But it's not. The executive and investor classes, perhaps the most surplus to societal requirement classes of all, are lining their pockets by trying to make the rest of the world as redundant as they are. God damn, I'm a good writer. Like, what a fire script this is. I am an exceptional writer. A writer for one of the biggest indie games of all time, if you didn't know. A writer on 3 undisclosed projects as well, so, you know, can only talk about the first one, but that one won a BAFTA, and I'm a writer for hire, just in case I wasn't clear. I'm really good, and I work to scale. And as if my incredible talent and negotiable rates weren't enough of a sell, do bear in mind I'm also incredibly desperate. That's my sales pitch for both writing and sex, by the way. So if you're a prospective employer or partner, call me. Seriously though, I am an exceptional writer. I may be a half-rate video producer, a 2-bit wrestler, and a terrible pinball player, but if I were to allow myself any bloviated sense of arrogance, it would be for my skills as a mistress of the written word. For indeed, words are my lover, paragraphs are my fleshlight, and AI is what I wipe my dick on when I'm done. Ha! I'd love to see an algorithm churn out anything half as poetic as that. Writing is my first love, and my one objectively prodigious talent. Even the gibbering rage rats who cry about my video game reviews rarely try to stretch credulity enough to claim the actual quality of my writing is bad. I mean, a few have, but only those sorry fools so detached from reality as to not realise what a laughable claim that is. If you think this is all just me preening my own feathers in a display of intellectual masturbation, you'd be right. But more than that, what I mean to say is that I know my own worth here, and how fucking dare a bunch of no-talent content predators attempt to devalue my work? How dare they even approach the mere consideration that generative AI is on my fucking level? Just goes to show you how truly artless these people are. I've spent years being indignant, furious, and demagoguerous, not a word, on behalf of developers, artists, and workers of all stripes. When it comes to AI, I get to enjoy my indignantly furious demagoguery, a word, on behalf of myself. I know I'm better than an algorithm. It can copy my words, but it don't know where to stick 'em. Sadly, however, we're in a world now where being good, being great, being amazing at what you do isn't enough. Not when the people judging what's enough have no respect for talent, no understanding of art, and are so pig-fucking ignorant they can't distinguish eloquent prose from a collection of stolen words arranged into an acceptably legible sentence. Not to follow up all the self-congratulatory remarks regarding my literary skill with some absolutely cliched text, but this time it's personal. I hate AI for everybody, sure. I hate AI for its misinformation, I hate AI for its theft, I hate AI for how it's contributing to the very real destruction of our planet with obscene energy consumption, but I also just really hate it for me, and I'll happily admit as well, I'm afraid. Like, fucking hell. Trying to find writing work right now has been an eye-opening horror show. And I need to make it clear, I'm not afraid that AI is taking my job because it'll outpace me. I'm afraid of the fucking imbeciles who think it will. The dumbasses excitedly investing in the snake oil with the explicit aim of putting me and everyone else out of work. I'm afraid of their lack of either foresight or insight. Sorry, I said either. Both. I'm afraid of their inability to tell good work from bad. I'm afraid of their avarice and incompetence and disregard for the harm AI has caused, is causing, and will continue to cause. Ultimately, it's not AI that's putting me out of business. It's those toad fuckers and their flagrant fucking ignorance. AI threatens to surgically remove as much human element as possible, but make no mistake, it's humans who hold the scalpel. Some really fucking stupid humans. So yeah, that's how I was plagiarized by AI. It's how 48,000 channels and counting were plagiarized by AI. AI is plagiarism. That, whatever use you want to say AI has, that is what AI currently is. That's how it's being used by the Techbro evangelists pushing it. It is theft. It is plagiarism. It is content preyed upon, reconstituted, and served up as contextless drivel. Fuck AI. And thank God for me.